What? No. Okay, yeah. Like five people, I think. Just five. Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 14th, a B-day on your schedules. Today for lunch is Australian chicken, and there's a game clubs meeting in Miss Green's room, during second lunch, a SAG meeting in Mr. Frimpong's room, a Women in Business meeting in Miss Pasiek's room, and please welcome Gigi, who's visiting us today. So if you see her in the hallways, please say hi. And now I'd like to invite BSU for a presentation.
On Saturday, May 14th, 2023, Jefferson Avenue is bustling with the joy and vibrancy known in Buffalo's East Side. At the corner of Jefferson and Riley is one of the neighborhood's cornerstones, the Tops Market grocery store. This particular store is significant in that it's the only grocery store for a 2-mile radius in each direction and the main source in the otherwise food desert of the East Side. As people rolled in and out, they remained blissfully unaware of how their lives would change that day. That afternoon, Buffalo's Black community was targeted and violently attacked. This hateful crime was fueled by racism and white supremacy, completely rocking every household on the East Side. Zaire Goodman, Jennifer Warrington, and Christopher Barton were wounded, and then 10 lives were lost in this tragic act. This attack caused 10 families to lose either their sister, brother, son, daughter, grandmother, grandfather, father, or mother. In a larger sense, this hate-fueled tragedy echoed across our community, robbing each of us of our sense of safety. Years of systemic racism like redlining and limited public transit and continual financial disinvestment corralled approximately 90,000 Black residents into an 8-mile radius square, dependent on one grocery store, and made us the ideal target of this tragic, horrific shooting. A quote from Tupac: "Long live the rose that grew from the concrete when no one else cared." Despite being targeted, attacked, and brutally murdered, our community grew stronger. Organizations, companies, and citizens came out in droves to support each other and heal together. Now, 3 years later, we continue to honor those in this awful tragedy to ensure that we never lose reverence for their lives cut short and the responsibility we have to build a better future. As members of the Black community in Buffalo, we would like to share the names and part of their story of the 10 individuals who lost their lives 3 years ago today.
Roberta Drury was 32, being the youngest of the 10 Black people killed at the Top supermarket. Her close family called her Robbie, and she grew up in the Syracuse area and moved to Buffalo a decade ago to help tend to her brother in his fight against leukemia.
Marcus D. Morrison had stopped by Tops to buy snacks for a movie night with his family. He was the loving, hardworking father of 6 children. He was known as a family man who was great with kids, loved music, and had his own sneaker collection. He worked as a security guard and a bus aide with Buffalo Public Schools. He was 52 years old.
Andre McNeil's family described him as a family man. He was always there for his family. He went to Tops on May 14th to pick up a cake because it was his son's birthday. His daughter described him as his best friend in their relationship being inseparable. He was 53 years old.
In this picture, it's Aaron Salter Jr. and his mom. Aaron Salter Jr., the one on the right, was 55 years old and a retired police officer. Salter worked as a security guard at Tops and tried to stop the shooter, Peyton Gendron before continuing the massacre throughout the store. Salter's wife, Kimberly, stated that even though he was not with me, I know how he loved others, he loved his family, extremely loved his job and his community.
Geraldine Talley was a 62-year-old mother, sister, daughter, and friend who lost her life during the devastating Tops mass shooting on May 14, 2022. She was a lovely cook who went to go shop for lunch meat for her and her husband's weekly waterfront picnic. Her brother-in-law wrote a poem dedicated to her, and here's a piece of it. My sister-in-law was a beautiful woman, outside and in. She was taken from this world because of the color of her skin. For 100+ years, we have struggled to survive through many trials and tribulations just to stay alive.
Celestine Cheney, or Steenie, as my family members called her, had just celebrated her 65th birthday a week earlier. She was a breast cancer survivor and was known and will be remembered for her bright smile that lit up every room she walked into.
Hayward Patterson was a 67-year-old church deacon. He dedicated his life not only to his faith, but to the service of his community. Deacon Patterson was a jitney driver at Tops, whether it was assisting older customers with shopping bags, volunteering at the soup kitchen in his church, or giving customers rides back home from Tops. He was always helping the members of his community. He passed away doing what he loved, supporting his community, and he'll forever be known as a bright star in the midst of turmoil.
Catherine Massey, 72, was shopping for groceries at the Tops Friendly Markets on the morning of the May 14th mass shooting when she was killed. A longtime Buffalo activist, she was known for fighting for safer neighborhoods, better schools, and stronger gun laws in the city's Black community. Loved ones called her the glue of the family because she dedicated so much of her life to helping others.
Pearl Young was 77 years old and was a pillar in the Church of God in Christ and spent her life serving others. Pearl had gone to lunch on Saturday with her sister-in-law, who then dropped her off at Tops where she wanted to buy a few items that she needed. She was a beloved member of her congregation and kept her family at the center of her life.
Ruth Whitfield, 86, had visited her husband in a nursing home near the store before picking up a few items. Her family described her as a beloved wife, mother, and grandmother who was her husband's primary caretaker.
Now please join us in a moment of silence to honor the 10 lives that were taken from us on May 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, BSU, for that. Are there any faculty announcements? Any student announcements? Have a great day. Get to class.